old DirecTV DSS dishes and turning them into Wi-Fi antennas like our very own Joshua Brentano. You know him from the LAN party. Then this segment is for you. So should we point out what a directional antenna is used for?
Yes.
Okay, directional antenna, there's a couple things used for them. Basically, the idea is you take, actually, you want to hold that up? It's a fine example of a directional antenna. It's one from NetNimble.net. The idea is you focus the energy of the antenna coming off of your Wi-Fi card in a very specific direction. So you're picking up more information from that direction or more signal from that direction or blasting out more signal in that direction. So I think that's a 24 dBi antenna. I'm not going to get into explaining decibels and the scales and how they work, but let's just say that's a lot more powerful than the little tiny antenna that is built into your... You see that little tiny... That's your normal antenna in a Wi-Fi card, that little purple spot right there. So we're going to take this little purple spot and we're going to make it a little... Well, we're going to make it overkill.
So why would someone want to make this overkill? Is it just for connecting friends together, or...?
Case in point, if you're, say, I don't know, kind of war driving, only stationary, one of my favorite stories is a guy who basically picked a hill in Seattle and started picking up open Wi-Fi spots over hundreds and thousands of yards away by using a high.
So it was war sitting, basically. He didn't have to drive. He just
war
sat there.
Squatting, war sitting in the dirt. I like that. War sitting. That's good. I'm going to play around with that idea. Or in case if maybe you have two outbuildings, or maybe your friend has internet access, they want to share it with you, and your houses are a couple 300 yards apart. If you're working line of sight, these are great for line of sight over long distances, like as much as say 34, 35, 70 kilometers. 50 miles, 20 miles, a couple hundred. And some people have actually had pretty good luck working with directional antennas, even through trees. Now, normally you want line of sight, and you want nothing in between. A building is going to stop at 2.4 gigahertz, a Wi-Fi and 802.11b, 802.11g signal. But if you have a high-power antenna, you can actually blast through a forest, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. So
you have a couple here. This one is kind of... I mean, you made this one from scratch.
We made this one. You may remember that. This is the fabulous U-Bahn coffee Cantenna. And if we take a look, what we did is basically mounted this onto a DirecTV dish. Now, a PrimeStar dish is what they usually use. PrimeStar is like a classic garage sale geek find, right? It's a jewel, because what happens when DirecTV bought PrimeStar, all these PrimeStar dishes were replaced by DirecTV. So all these PrimeStar dishes started showing up for like $5. So a bunch of people sat down and they figured out how to do Cantenna designs to plug into them. They figured out how to do biquads, I guess is another antenna design they were using. But the idea is pretty simple. You have a reflector at one end. At the other end, in this case, we actually used a hacksaw to cut off the LNB, which is the part that would normally communicate to the satellite, right? Basically, that would be receiving it. So we cut that off and we replaced it with our Cantenna. Now,
you got to be able to paint that, though. I mean, your girlfriend's not going to let you have something like that outside your house.
Girlfriend, my landlord. Look, there's a number of things you don't do in my neighborhood, and wandering around with something like this is a really prime case of just getting your ass kicked by the neighbors. I don't even live in a nice neighborhood. If I lived in a nice neighborhood, they'd have what do they call the people that make people keep their houses?
They come around and write you tickets and things like that.
Exactly. Your car has a scratch on it. Yeah. We've all been in that neighborhood. Anyhow, this is a little Baja fabrication. This is some low-tech, low-grade fabrication. This is a proof of concept. If you want one on your house, great. We'll wrap it with duct tape. We'll paint the whole thing silver. It'll blend really nicely. But the point being, check this out. Take a look at the signal right here. Right now, if we take a look at that, we got NetStumbler running. So that's the signal. It's actually coming off of the antenna that's built into the card. Now we're going to plug in our fabulous pigtail.
We should say the base station is about 75 feet that way, and through a few walls in the next studio.
We're probably going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walls. 6 walls or 3 walls? We'll count them later on. But the point is take a look at the difference. The before is on the left. The after is on the right, so that we've boosted the power quite a bit, and this is not particularly fine-tuned. I would probably want to build a biquad radiator for this and actually refine this a little bit, because we were playing around with it. We got up to about 54 dB a gain, I believe, if I'm reading the numbers correctly. So there's a huge improvement in performance on that. The other thing is if you'll take a look at that again, if we turn it off access, you'll notice that the signal is going to drop. So, like I said, it's a directional antenna. If it's not pointed in the right direction, you're going to lose a bunch of your signal. And if we turn it all the way in the opposite direction, it should drop down even more. So right now we're going to disconnect it.
Now, how does that differ from something like this? Which one's better? I mean,
well, here's the interesting question. Brentano, I think, paid $50 off of eBay for this dish.
Right.
Now, I believe the one we have up on the top of that lighting stand up there, that's the one from Hyperlink. The one you had in your hands from NetNimble. And we're going going to hand you, could you bolt this into that connector on there? And the cable, we should point out, never ever use like coaxial cable you would use to connect to your cable system in your house. It's a very lossy cable. The 2.4 gigahertz signal is just going to radiate out of it in the first few feet. This is like LMR 400. This stuff sells for about, I don't know, I think I paid $1.25 a foot from it. You can get it from places like NetNimble or Hyperlink. And they'll actually sell pre-made cables for you. There's netnimble.net is NetNimble's website. And yeah, it's like $35 for like 4 feet if it pre-assemble it. I go to a ham radio outlet to buy this stuff, and I actually buy the end connectors. Hyperlink is the other people we work with a lot. But yeah, this is LMR 400 if memory serves, and it's pretty much, you can do like a 75-foot run of this stuff
with no loss whatsoever. Okay, cool.
But let's click back. You actually plug that in. And we've actually got, look, we've picked up even more signal. You know, the signal's gotten even stronger, that bar all the way to the right. And you might want to twist that a little bit. Yeah, see, as you're starting to aim it, the signal's going even higher. So the thing is that antenna essentially costs the same as our, that $45 Hyperlink antenna cost actually less than our dish did. And it didn't require us to, you know, get all Baja fabrication with our hacksaw and our zip ties.
Right.
Or later on when we get it set up, you know, to make it really sophisticated, we'll use the duct tape. So, to be honest with you, a few years ago when the price, if you have a source of dishes cheap, if you see somebody selling them for $5, if you want to play around with it as a project, if you know somebody who works doing the installation, it can get you a dish really cheap.
That's when you go with this one here.
That's when you go with this one. Yeah. Well, the other thing is, check this out. We showed you before how low that signal is on the left. If you connect this coffee can antenna onto that, the coffee can antenna costs us about $14 in parts and about 45 minutes of work. It's shocking just exactly how strong. I remember, we also had to drink the U-Band coffee, which is kind of punishment of itself. But, I mean, the signal on that, look at that. We're actually, more than doubling.
Just from a standard coffee can. Now, you were using Pringles in the past. Does it make a difference with the longer can?
You know what? The Pringles cans, they fall apart. They're paper. They're evil. Cantennas are the way to go if you're going to do a home brew. As always, the FCC frowns on this. Don't get caught. Learn the laws on matching antennas. Well, no, look, the FCC...
That's a nice disclaimer. Just don't get caught.
For links to the products we use, some great online tutorials. I'd like to say hi to Mr. Powell over at the FCC who may be watching right now and having someone call me later on. I'll explain more later. To build your own DSS Wi-Fi antenna, we got all the links and all the information at thescreensavers.com.
Excellent. Now still to come, travel gadgets that'll make traveling a lot more enjoyable. And up next, learn how to recover those deleted honeymoon photos in your storage cards when the Screensavers continues.